Welcome back to Business Weekend. So here's a question for you. The next time you get into a cab or a rideshare vehicle, would you prefer it to be a traditional car or an electric vehicle? Or would you just prefer it turns up on time and gets you to your destination on time? Well, for many companies, as part of their emission reduction targets, an electric vehicle comes with the credits companies need, as Steph Nash reports.
Since the reopening of global borders, travelling for work has felt like a luxury. But that's in the past. Business travel is now clawing its way back to pre-COVID levels. One of the best gauges of this is corporate travel management. In August, corporate travel's underlying earnings soared to $167 million for the year to June 30. That's more than double last year's results. Total transactions on CTM platforms rocketed by 77% to shy of $10 billion. It's a big jump for a company that posted a $60 million loss in 2021.
The feedback's very consistent. They want to travel for customers, supply chain, and get their people together. And every region in the world, was somewhere between 80 and 85%, so they're going to travel more next calendar year than this. So I think that's a positive thing, and just points to people realising that travel and GDP, or travel and business success, are very correlated, highly correlated.
The top destinations for travel, according to CTM, are the financial hubs of America, London, and around Asia. In terms of travel intentions, 80 to 85% of all CTM customers have flagged that they intend to spend the same or more next calendar year. But Australia has still got a while to go before getting back to the glory days. Chief Executive Jamie Ferris is calling on the airlines to add more services to the mix to bring down the eye-watering costs for flights and accommodation.
Travel's been obscenely expensive. It's certainly coming down. Ex-Australia and Asia still, they're probably behind in capacity. So we really want more capacity, which does two things. It allows people to travel, but also allows competition. So you get good product at cheaper prices.
Uber Australia has noticed the resurgence of corporate travel. It's part of the reason why it's launched Comfort Electric, the EV-only premium ride option solely for business customers. The other reason is the growing corporate demand for more sustainable transport options.
In Q3 of this year, actually in 23, we actually saw on average 13,000 trips taken on EVs on the platform, which is tremendously exciting.
It's another link in the chain of business operations going green. Another step towards helping companies reach their ESG targets, much like Uber itself, with this initiative forming part of its plan towards hitting net zero by 2040.
We're pushing hard to find many different mediums or levers to pull to drive or help encourage adoption of EVs. Certainly, we believe that with the launch of Comfort Electric for Uber for Business clients, this is a great first step in respect to us, helping organisations take that move towards sustainable transportation options.
It's been a great year for electric vehicles. Data from the Federal Chamber of Automotive Industries shows that in 2023, year-to-date sales to November of EVs was at over 80,000 units sold. That's up from just 28,000 this time last year. In the month of November alone, the Tesla Model Y was one of the top 5 selling new vehicles in Australia.
Electrification is the future, there's no doubt about that. The only question in my mind is what is the trajectory there? And what it shows, and the Model Y Tesla is a good example of this, if you build the right product and if you can use it with your lifestyle, people will buy it. So it's just a question about getting all the ingredients to bake the electric vehicle cake for the future.
We've seen a lot of progress at all levels of government in respect to pushing EV adoption, and we certainly want to see that continue.
ESG reporting at an enterprise level is growing far more complex. In response, service providers such as Uber and CTM are using AI to find ways to make capturing that data easier for customers.
For many organisations, the challenge has been finding reporting, and so through Uber for Business's Insights dashboard, they can actually get that sustainability data that they can use for their own internal reporting. Again, helping them understand how they're trending against reducing, their carbon footprint.
What our tools do, not only can you compare across airlines, but in Europe you can compare, okay, if I took a train versus an airline, what will I save? And furthermore, in Europe, we've now got a few customers that are looking at saying, okay, we're going to set a carbon budget, and they can see how they're using that budget and they can move that budget around.
As for the appetite for corporate travel over the year ahead, CTM's Jamie Ferris says we're on the cards for another strong year, despite less than rosy economic conditions.
We tend to see it 3 to 6 months before the market does. So we seem to get this insight earlier. But what normally happens is just GDP movement. So if the GDP contracts or expands by 1% or 2%, that's typically what our client base does. We're still very bullish about the year ahead. I mean, our guidance is something like 60% up on last year. It's something like, 60% better than pre-COVID.